Darren Waller just pulled off one of the most shocking moves in recent NFL history. The tight end who retired at 31 is now back in the league at 33. From retirement to comeback, the NFL world is buzzing with this unprecedented turn of events. The Miami Dolphins acquired Darren Waller from the New York Giants. The Giants received a 2026 sixth-round pick in exchange for Waller and a conditional 2027 seventh-round pick. Waller signed a one-year contract with Miami worth up to $5 million. Drew Rosenhaus and Robert Bailey, Waller's agents, confirmed the trade according to ESPN. The timing is absolutely stunning. This trade happened just one day after the Dolphins traded Jonnu Smith to the Pittsburgh Steelers. That blockbuster deal involved multiple Pro Bowlers, including cornerback Jalen Ramsey and safety Minkah Fitzpatrick. What makes this even more incredible? While Waller is stepping directly into Smith's role as the Dolphins' primary tight end. Waller retired in June 2024 after 8 NFL seasons. He cited waning passion for football as his primary reason for stepping away. The former Pro Bowler was going through a divorce from WNBA star Kelsey Plum at the time. He wanted to focus on his music career as a rapper. But there's a deeper story here. Waller experienced a terrifying medical scare in November 2023 that changed everything. He spent 3.5 days in a hospital, unable to stand up, use the bathroom, or even feed himself.
I think nobody in the public probably knows. Last season in New Jersey, we played the Jets on October 29th. I got hurt that game. And then the following week, the Giants were playing the Raiders in Vegas. I started to feel like this fever coming on, and I'm like, the fever starts to build, start to get the chills and stuff like that. But then, by the time I pulled into my parking garage at my condo and get out the car, I'm shaking pretty violently, uncontrollably, to where I was like, this is a little weird, a little different. This one's just going to be a little bit more difficult than before, I guess.
The next morning was even worse. Waller said he couldn't breathe in his bed. He called 911, paramedics responded, and his hospital nightmare began. While he never disclosed the specific diagnosis, he called it a very scary situation that forced him to reevaluate his entire life. This wasn't Waller's first battle with serious health issues. He has been public about his struggles with addiction throughout his career. An overdose turned his life around for the better. He has since used his experience with addiction and rehabilitation to help others facing similar challenges. The Giants traded a third-round draft pick to acquire Waller from the Raiders in March 2023. They expected the former Pro Bowler to add explosive receiving ability to their passing attack. Instead, they got one of the most disappointing seasons in recent memory. Waller played only 12 games for the Giants in 2023. He caught 52 passes for 552 yards and just 1 touchdown. He missed time with hamstring injuries that had plagued him for years. The performance was described as a shell of his former self. But here's the shocking part. Waller revealed exactly when he decided to quit on the Giants.
I don't know if I've shared this with anybody, but I knew I was retiring when we played in Buffalo. The Giants we were playing there. It was a game where it was really controversial because one of the guys held me at the end. They didn't call it. It was in the first quarter of the game. We were running this counter lead running play, and I'm kind of leading through the hole like I'm a fullback, and the play is working. But I sit down on the sideline after a drive where we ran 3 times, and I'm like, what the f*** am I doing with my life? I'm out here playing fullback. I don't even want to do this anymore. And I'm just looking at the moon. It's early first quarter, second.
Head coach Brian DeBole had forced Waller to serve as a lead blocker instead of utilizing his pass-catching abilities. The Giants used him like a fullback on 3 consecutive running plays against the Buffalo Bills. That was the exact moment Waller decided his NFL career was over.
First quarter, second quarter, nobody else would really even know that I'm thinking this, but I'm on the sideline yep, I'm going to finish this year with the best of my ability, but I'm definitely done playing after this year. And that was the only time I played in Buffalo.
In that 14-9 loss to Buffalo, Waller caught 5 passes for 43 yards on 7 targets. The Giants dropped to 1-5 with the defeat. More importantly, they had just destroyed the career of one of the NFL's most talented tight ends. The Giants were already aware of Waller's injury history with hamstring issues. They knew about his past drug problems and suspensions. He spent his first 2 NFL seasons with the Baltimore Ravens before being suspended for the first 4 games of 2016 and the entire 2017 season for violating the league's substance abuse policy. Despite all these red flags, the Giants wasted a valuable third-round draft pick. Waller's retirement saved them $11.6 million on their salary cap, but the damage was already done. Before the Giants' disaster, Waller was one of the NFL's elite tight ends. The Raiders signed him off the Ravens' practice squad during the 2018 season. This move transformed both Waller's career and the Raiders' offense. From 2019 to 2020, Waller produced back-to-back 1,100-yard receiving seasons. In 2020, he earned a Pro Bowl selection with league-leading numbers among tight ends: 107 catches for 1,196 yards and 9 touchdowns. His 2019 to 2020 combined statistics were absolutely dominant: 197 receptions for 2,311 yards and 12 touchdowns. During this period, Waller emerged as a star who was vocal about overcoming his struggle with substance abuse. He used his platform to help others facing similar battles. The Raiders rewarded his performance with a 3-year, $51 million extension in 2022. However, Waller's production declined significantly after his peak years. He has not tallied more than 665 receiving yards in a season since 2020. Hamstring issues plagued him for 3 consecutive years, limiting his effectiveness and availability. The Dolphins' decision to pursue Waller came immediately after trading Jonnu Smith to Pittsburgh. Smith had just completed the best season by a tight end in Dolphins franchise history. He caught 88 passes for 884 receiving yards, both franchise records for the position. He also scored 8 receiving touchdowns, leading the team in that category. Smith earned his first Pro Bowl selection in 2024. Only 3 tight ends, Brock Bowers of the Las Vegas Raiders, Trey McBride of the Arizona Cardinals, and George Kittle of the San Francisco 49ers, ranked ahead of Smith in receiving yards last season. The 2017 third-round pick had previously played for the Tennessee Titans from 2017 to 20, New England Patriots from 2021 to 22, and Atlanta Falcons in 2023. Smith skipped Miami's offseason practices while searching for a new contract, which likely contributed to the trade decision. Now the Dolphins face a significant challenge. Their tight end room includes 8th-year journeyman Pharaoh Brown and 3rd-year player Julian Hill, who have a combined 90 receptions in their careers. They also have former undrafted free agents Tanner Conner, Hayden Rucci, and Jalen Conyers on the roster. Waller will compete with these players for the starting role in training camp, though he figures to be the favorite given his experience and proven ability. Waller joins an explosive Dolphins offense, featuring quarterback Tua Tagovailoa and elite receivers Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle. This high-octane attack thrives on speed and versatility. Waller's size and receiving ability could provide a different dimension alongside the team's speedy weapons. The Dolphins have not relied heavily on tight end production in recent years. Since 2022, their tight end group ranks 27th in receptions, 197, 29th in receiving yards, 1,942, 27th in yards after catch, 897, and tied for 20th in receiving touchdowns, 14. These statistics show significant room for improvement at the position. Mike McDaniel's creative offensive scheme could maximize Waller's skills. The Dolphins' system emphasizes versatility and allows receivers to line up in different spots across formations. This approach should suit Waller's abilities much better than the Giants' limited usage. The New York Jets have faced another devastating blow to their storied franchise. Former defensive end Jerry Philbin, a cornerstone of the team's only Super Bowl championship, has died at age 83. The Jets announced his passing on Wednesday, marking yet another loss of a legendary figure from their glory days. This isn't just another obituary for Jets fans. Philbin's death represents the continued erosion of the team's connection to their greatest achievement, Super Bowl III in 1969. The cause of death was dementia. His family confirmed to ESPN. Jerry Philbin was born in Pawtucket, Rhode Island, before making his mark at the University at Buffalo. Standing at 6 feet 2 inches and weighing 245 pounds, he was considered undersized for his position. The Buffalo Bulls saw something special in him, making him a 4-year starter who earned second-team All-American, Little All-American, and All-American Academic Team honors. UB football coach Pete Lembo expressed his disappointment upon hearing the news. Very sad news. Definitely one of the greatest players to ever represent at UB football on the gridiron. We are proud to represent Jerry and all the men who helped to build the program. The 1964 draft presented Philbin with an interesting choice. Both the New York Jets and Detroit Lions selected him in the 3rd round, the Jets with the 19th overall pick in the AFL draft, the Lions with the 33rd overall pick in the NFL draft. The decision wasn't difficult for Philbin. "There was never any doubt in my mind that I was going to sign with the Jets," Philbin said. "The Jets showed me a lot more respect and told him he wasn't too small to play for them. That respect would prove prophetic." Philbin wore number 81 and played left defensive end for the Jets from 1964 to 1972. He started 109 games and appeared in 112 total games over 9 seasons. His rookie year marked the beginning of a defensive era that would culminate in the franchise's greatest moment. The numbers tell an impressive story. Sacks didn't become an official statistic until 1982, but Philbin unofficially recorded 64.5 regular season sacks according to team records. This ranks 4th most in franchise history. More remarkably, he registered double-digit sacks in 4 consecutive seasons from 1966 to 1969. The breakdown shows his consistency: 10.5 sacks in 1966, 12 sacks in 1967, 19 sacks in the Super Bowl season of 1968, and 12 sacks in 1969. Philbin and Verlon Biggs remain the only players in franchise history to achieve 10-plus sacks in 4 consecutive seasons. Mark Gastineau accomplished this feat 5 times in 6 seasons, missing only during the strike-shortened 1982 season. That 19-sack total in 1968 stood as the franchise record until Joe Klecko notched 20.5 in 1981. Philbin developed a distinctive approach to rushing the passer. "I had a special style to rush the passer," he remembered before his Ring of Honor induction. "I like to do the spin move on the inside a lot. I think the quickness helped me, not being as big as some of the linemen." Pro Football Hall of Fame coach Weeb Ewbank understood what made Philbin special. "Jerry's got the knack of penetration, getting to the ball." Ewbank said in the book, The Other League, The Fabulous Story of the American Football League. "He never quits. He always rushes. He's got heart and pride, a will to win. He's always chasing the ball." Frank Ramos, the Jets' longtime public relations director, witnessed Philbin's work ethic firsthand. "Nobody at the time on our team weightlifted. He was up at Buffalo, and I think he only weighed at 215. But he built himself up and became a great player for us. He just never stopped. His motor never stopped." The 1968 season represented the pinnacle of Philbin's career and Jets history. The team defeated the Baltimore Colts 16-7 in Super Bowl III, with Joe Namath's guarantee capturing headlines. Philbin's pass rush helped make that guarantee reality. The championship wasn't just about individual performance. Philbin became part of a defensive front seven that Jets fans could recite from memory. His presence anchored a unit that carried the team from his rookie season through their Super Bowl victory and beyond. Larry Grantham, a first-team All-AFL linebacker who died in 2017, recalled Philbin's versatility. "I always remember Jerry down on the goal line," Grantham said in 2011. "He'd always get penetration, and that would really help stop any kind of running play to his side. He rushed the passer great, he played the run great, and he gave you 120% every play." One story captures Philbin's character better than any statistic. During the playoff game against the Kansas City Chiefs after the 1969 season, he suffered a separated shoulder. The medical solution was as barbaric as it was effective. John Schmidt, the Jets center from 1964 to 1974, witnessed the scene. They made up a leather harness that was a half-inch thick that was wrapped around his chest, and they had chain link fence holding the leather arm piece to the chest piece. You never saw such a barbaric thing. And he played the whole game against Kansas City. He was a damn tough player, and I love the man. Schmidt's admiration for Philbin extended beyond that single moment. Jerry was a born leader. He was one of 4 or 5 true leaders on our Super Bowl team. He was damn tough, and he was an all-world player. Ralph Baker, the Jets' left side linebacker at the time, played right beside Philbin. He was one of the best teammates I ever had with the Jets, and I played right beside him. I really believe he should have been a Hall of Famer. He was just a good guy, a regular guy who worked hard and shared his feelings. When teammates needed to be set straight, Jerry was the guy to do it. Philbin's excellence earned widespread recognition during and after his playing career. He was selected to play in the AFL All-Star Games after the 1968 and 1969 seasons. He earned first-team All-Pro honors in both years and was named to the Pro Bowl twice. The all-time All-AFL squad recognized Philbin as first-team defensive end. His selection to the AFL's All-Decade team for the 1960s cemented his place among the league's elite players. More than 4 decades after his playing days ended, the Jets inducted Philbin into their Ring of Honor on October 17, 2011. He joined the second Ring of Honor class alongside fellow defensive partner Larry Grantham, wide receiver Al Toon, and running back Freeman McNeil. Philbin understood what made him successful and took pride in overcoming physical limitations. In a 2018 interview with Jim Gaiman of NewYorkJets.com, he reflected on his career with characteristic honesty. "I got the most out of how hard I worked because I was a little disadvantaged with size and overcame it," Philbin said, "and then just accomplishing most of my goals that I set. I wanted to be an all-star. I wanted to win the Super Bowl. And the personal goals of getting elected to the all-time AFL team, and then finally becoming a Ring of Honor recipient with the Jets. All those things I cherish a lot." His systematic approach to goal setting and achievement reflected the methodical nature that made him successful on the field. Each milestone represented years of dedication and preparation. At 83, Jerry Philbin lived longer than many of his contemporaries who absorbed similar physical punishment during their careers. His death marks another milestone in the gradual disappearance of the Jets' championship generation. The team that upset the Baltimore Colts in Super Bowl III continues to lose its human connections to that achievement. Philbin's passing represents terrible news for Jets fans who cherish their franchise's greatest moment. His legacy lives on in franchise records, Ring of Honor recognition, and the memories of teammates who respected his leadership and toughness. The man who overcame physical limitations through determination and work ethic left an indelible mark on Jets history. The motor that never stopped running has finally gone quiet. For Jets fans, that represents another painful reminder of how far their franchise has drifted from its championship foundation.
I think it'll work because of Mike Tomlin, without a doubt, because, it's a different day and age now, but there is nobody, in my opinion, at just what I was talking about, of understanding what everybody needs to be at their best. It is never about his ego. It's about, what I have to do to get this job done. And I think that's been shown through the years. Now, I know there hadn't been a playoff win in a Super Bowl, but you're playing without a quarterback for the most part. They're doing the best they can.
Aaron Rodgers hasn't played a single snap for the Pittsburgh Steelers yet, but the front office is already planning for life after him, and head coach Mike Tomlin is leading that charge. This offseason, the Pittsburgh Steelers signed veteran quarterback Aaron Rodgers to a 1-year, $13.6 million deal. At 41 years old, Rodgers is entering his 20th NFL season. Though he's healthy following last season's Achilles recovery, signs indicate this will be his final campaign. According to multiple reports, Rodgers is expected to retire after the 2025 season, regardless of outcome. The Steelers have made no official statement about Rodgers' future. However, their offseason moves and statements from within the organization tell a clear story. They're preparing for a post-Rodgers era. Unlike his time in Green Bay or even his brief stint with the Jets, Rodgers will not have total autonomy over the Steelers' offense. Mike Tomlin has reportedly taken a more hands-on approach this season, ensuring offensive structure is consistent and sustainable beyond Rodgers' tenure. According to insider reports, Rodgers has had input, But Tomlin and O.C. Arthur Smith are building the system to outlast the quarterback. This is a major shift. Rodgers is known for his freelance style and audible-heavy game management,